Hi everyone, this is Laelie again, bringing you another Innominatus 10-man encounter strategy from patch 4.3 PTR. This video will outline the strategy for Hagara the Stormbinder, the 4th boss in the Dragon Soul raid. This fight is by no means complete and will likely be changed before it hits the live realms. This video footage was taken in a pug, but the abilities and strategies for this fight are reflected in this video. Hagara is found in the Eye of Eternity, where Malygos was fought and killed back in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. To reach Hagara, your raid will fly on the red drake found at the bottom of Wyrmrest Temple, up to the top of the temple, watch some in-game dialogue, and then use the portal to the Eye of Eternity. Your raid will kill 4 waves of trash, and fight a mini-boss in order to face Hagara. This is a 2-phase encounter with 2 different phase 2s. Phase 2 can either be a frost phase or a lightning phase. The fight will alternate between phase 1 and phase 2, with each phase 2 being one of the 2 options. It appears as though after the initial phase 2, the following phase 2s will alternate between frost and lightning. Your raid composition should be 1 tank, 2 healers, and 7 DPS. The healing on this fight is very light for the most part, and your raid will do better with more DPS to break raiders out of ice tombs and to kill her faster during burn phases. I will first outline the abilities of Hagara, and will then go over the encounter strategy for this boss. Phase 1. Hagara will cast 3 Ice Lances, which will each target a random raid member and start hitting them for 15,000 frost damage. She does this 1 to 2 times in Phase 1, and the Ice Lances will hit a player once every second for approximately 15 seconds. These missiles can be intercepted by another raid member and will hit them instead. This strategy is outlined later in this guide. Hagara will also use Ice Tomb in Phase 1. 2 random raid members, not including the current tank, will be hit by Ice Tomb each Phase 1. A player in an Ice Tomb will be unable to take any action. The tombs have about 542,000 health, and will need to be DPS down. Healers that are in an ice tomb must be broken out first. She will also use Shattered Ice periodically throughout Phase 1. This ability will hit a random raid member for 78,000 frost damage, and will slow their movement speed for 4 seconds. The slow debuff from this ability can and should be dispelled. The final ability Hagara uses in Phase 1 is called Focused Assault. Hagara will rapidly attack the tank, swinging for 50% of her normal weapon damage every 0.5 seconds for 5 seconds. This ability is very similar to the Flayer Trash in the Stone Core 5-man dungeon. The tank can and should avoid this ability by stepping away from her when she uses it. Phase 2. Frost Phase. 30 seconds into the fight, Hagara will transition to Phase 2. If she chooses a Frost phase, she will put a giant water bubble called Frozen Tempest over the center of the platform and become immune to all damage. Along with this ability, she will use Watery Entrenchment, which causes any raider who is standing in the Tempest to take 15% of their max health and damage every second, and will slow them by 50%. Raiders should make sure to stay on the outer rim of the platform to avoid this. Hagara will spawn 4 binding crystals equally spaced around the outer rim. These crystals must be destroyed in order to break her shield. Each crystal has 387,000 health. There are 2 major abilities that must be dodged in this phase. The first ability is called Ice Wave. Hagara will summon 4 lines of ice that spread out from the center to the edge of the platform. The lines will move clockwise around the edge of the platform. Anyone caught in the lines will take 200,000 frost damage, and take 50% increased frost damage for 2.5 seconds. This ability will one-shot any player, so it must be avoided. The second ability is called Icicle. Icicles will fall frequently from above and deal 100,000 frost damage to anyone standing under them. You can see where they will land by the large blue targeting circle on the floor of the platform. Breaking all 4 binding crystals will cause Hagara to become stunned and take 100% extra damage for 15 seconds. Phase 2. Lightning Phase. If Hagara chooses to initiate a lightning phase for Phase 2, she will cast a water shield to protect herself, making her immune to all damage. 4 crystal conductors will spawn around the inner circle of the platform. The conductors must be used in order to break Hagara's shield. During this phase, a bound lightning elemental will spawn and be picked up by the tank. When it dies, it will overload a nearby crystal conductor. When a conductor is overloaded, it will chain lightning to nearby raiders, which can then be chained to other conductors, overloading them as well. This effect will deal about 10,000 damage per hit to linked players. When all 4 crystal conductors are overloaded, Hagara will receive electrocution, which will stun Hagara and make her take 100% increased damage for 15 seconds. After Hagara ends her stun, phase 1 will repeat again. Now that we have covered the abilities, let's outline the strategy for this encounter. Encounter strategy. Your tank will want to pick up Hagara and face her away from the raid. Your melee DPS should attack from behind, and your ranged DPS and healers should spread out loosely behind her. When the Ice Lances choose targets, heals must be focused onto those players. It is important to note that this damage can be intercepted by other raiders. Raiders should stand in the Ice Lance beam, take 4 to 5 hits, and then step out again. Those raiders that are chosen by the Ice Lances should avoid moving so they don't double or triple hit other raiders. Healers will also need to focus heals and dispels on raiders hit by Shattered Ice. This ability in combination with Ice Lance can prove fatal to low health players. When the Ice Tombs spawn, your raiders should make it a priority to break out the players trapped in them. Healers must be broken out first. If a player is still in an Ice Tomb at the start of a Frost phase in Phase 2, they should not be broken out, because the Frozen Tempest will quickly kill any raider inside it in combination with the Ice Waves. Your tank must avoid Focused Assault as well. He should simply sidestep Hagara or back up a few yards out of her melee range to avoid this damage. If Hagara transitions into a Frost phase for Phase 2, all raiders should head to the outer edge of the platform. Icicles will begin to fall and should be dodged. At this point, Hagara will also spawn the Binding Crystals and Ice Waves from her position in the middle. Raiders should watch for the Ice Waves and avoid those parts of the platform that they're moving to. Once the waves are fully extended, they will begin to move in a clockwise direction. Your raid will need to move with them and kill the Binding Crystals as they move, as well as avoiding Icicles. Have your raid keep as close as they can to the Frozen Tempest without going into it, as they move around the circle. Raiders can easily outrun the Ice Waves as long as they are closer to the middle than to the outer edge of the platform. Healing in this phase is extremely light and there is nothing to tank, so healers and tanks can help kill crystals. After all 4 crystals are destroyed, your raid will have 15 seconds to burn Hagara before Phase 1 begins again. If Hagara transitions into Lightning phase for Phase 2, your raid will need to find a crystal conductor to stack near. This will allow your healers to AoE heal more effectively, as the healing in this phase is significantly higher than in Frost phase. A bound lightning elemental will spawn somewhere near the outer edge of the room. Your tank should pick this ad up and move it near a conductor while the DPS kill it. Once the elemental dies, it will overload the conductor, causing nearby raiders to chain lightning between them. This is the key to breaking Hagara out of her bubble. Now, have your raid move together clockwise to the next conductor. Once that conductor is overloaded, move on to the rest of the conductors in order until all 4 are overloaded. Healers will need to maintain AoE heals until the last conductor is overloaded. Once all the conductors are overloaded, Hagara will become vulnerable again, and your raid should burn her until she transitions back to Phase 1. This set of phases will repeat until she dies. Heroism should be used at or around 40% or during a burn phase to be effective. Hagara is a fun encounter and requires a lot of coordination on the part of the raid. Once each of the phases is mastered, Hagara will die in short order. I have included the entire fight so you can see all of the abilities and phases throughout this fight. Put on your Sunday dresses and have fun.
have trapped yourself by the same sorcery you used to deceive my mother. You're nothing. You're not a god. You're not a man. I shall find a land and give birth to a god.